Hello, and welcome to this brief look at my capstone portfolio for my master's degree in library science at Emporia State University's School of Library and Information Management, or SLIM. As you can see, my portfolio contains artifacts for each of the intended outcomes and professional values of the SLIM program. Also included are a quick introduction and summary of my road to librarianship, my online resume, and a link with contact information. There's also a tab under which I describe my internship and practicum experiences. My portfolio is available for viewing in its entirety on the Emporia Digication website, and I'll provide a link under this video so that you can visit it at your leisure. For today, I have been asked to dive deep and explain just two separate artifacts relevant to my time at SLIM and to my hopes for future involvement in the field of information management. First, let's go to program outcome number 3, Organization of Recorded Knowledge and Information. In the LI 818 class, Archival Arrangement and Description, we were asked to work with a local repository to arrange and describe one of their smaller collections. We were to produce an authentic finding aid for this collection and to write a report describing the process. In connection with this assignment, I approached the Watkins Museum of History in Lawrence, Kansas, and asked to work with some of their materials. I ended up arranging and describing a few dozen architectural drawings that had been important to the building's conversion from an 1880s bank to a municipal building, and later to its current status as the home of the Douglas County Historical Society. After the first step of preparing an initial processing plan, I began assembling the documents, which were stored rolled up in boxes, or out of boxes. Upon unrolling them, I was struck first by their beauty. Quite aside from their interest as part of the building's story, they were excellent examples of architectural drawings done by hand before the era of computer-aided design. While weighing down the drawings in an attempt to flatten them, I was allowed to practice encapsulation on a few unrelated documents, such as this enlarged photograph from the 1940s. I then moved on to the drawings themselves, creating pouches for each one's preservation. I arranged them then in chronological order, grouped within each separate renovation project, and described each drawing for my finding aid, which I prepared using Archivist's Toolkit. My final report described the process, also the decisions I made during it, and some of the reflections on the project as a whole. As I was working towards an archive studies concentration in my MLS program, I regarded this assignment as providing valuable practical experience in archival arrangement and description. However, my classes at Emporia State covered general librarianship as well, and it was in the LI 802 class, Information Seeking Behavior and User-Centered Services, that we were asked to create a promotional piece describing a standard for information literacy. Creativity was stressed for this assignment, and humor was encouraged. So, with that in mind, I wrote and produced a video describing the literacy standard as something available from a late-night infomercial. You may remember that such commercials usually show a hapless consumer attempting to arrange their storage containers or drain a pot of spaghetti in the worst and most messy ways possible, only to be shown the error of their ways through the introduction of a marvelous new product. So it is with my young student, shown here in my video, as drowning in a flood of information before he is introduced to the information literacy standard of properly extracting, recording, and managing information at its sources. Although I was an absolute novice at movie making, the roughness of my technique fits with the idea of a cheesy late-night television ad, and the underlying message is a strong one that I managed to pass on to actual students later during my academic library internship. Thank you very much for spending these few minutes with me as I explained just two of the many projects that I enjoyed working on at SLIM. As already mentioned, you may visit my entire portfolio and its artifacts at the link listed below this video. Thank you again.